Truckee.
Good morning, Truckee.
Good morning.
Can you see us okay?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So we had a few friends. We talked before we started today about some questions we have for you about your job, because I told them that you help people be better readers, or about where you live. Okay, so just a few questions. So Hunter, why don't you ask your question? Hunter, why don't you stand up so she can see you, and face the camera.
What?
So face the camera this way. So this is Hunter. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning, Hunter.
What is like your favorite book that you read?
So what's your favorite book?
Favorite book. I have a lot of favorite books. My favorite author is Nicholas Sparks.
Ooh.
But for kids' books, one of my favorite authors is Dr. Seuss, because I really like the Dr. Seuss books.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite Dr. Seuss book?
There's so many good ones. Probably The Cat in the Hat, though.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. All right. My next friend, Jonah, what was your question for Miss Truckee? So go ahead, Jonah.
Why did you decide to be a teacher?
I decided to be a teacher because I love working with kids. Because I grew up in a program called 4-H, and I got to work with kids all the time, and I loved working with kids, so that's why I decided to be a teacher.
Pretty cool, huh? And where Miss Truckee is from, that's where Mr. Albert is from, and he was in 4-H too when he was little. Pretty cool. Not as cool as you, Miss Truckee, though. Okay, next friend, Miss Victoria, what was your question for Miss Truckee?
Is your classroom little or big?
My classroom is very little this year. I taught second grade until this year, and now I'm the reading specialist, so I'm in a small room because I don't have students all day long. I have little groups of students that come to me to read. So I have a small room because I don't have a full class.
But if you see, guys, what's on the back of her wall? Do you see some stuff? What do you see, Donovan?
Animals.
Yeah, because what do you like to ride, Miss Truckee?
I love to ride horses.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, she has a horse.
So
I have
Very,
two
very-
horses.
I see a bowl of cow.
Yeah, so she has a whole Western themed little room. Isn't that cool?
I see bananas.
All right, one more question. Miss Jalen, what was your question for Miss Truckee? Go ahead and stand up.
My question was,
About how is it? How cold is it there?
how cold is it?
How cold is it? Well, right now our weather's being kind of goofy. On Sunday, it was like 60 degrees, so it was warm like it was down by you guys. But today we got snow, so it's 25 degrees today. So it's back to being cold. We didn't get very much. It's maybe an inch in some places. We were supposed to get 6 inches, but it didn't happen.
Because if you got 6 inches, would you have a snow day?
I would have had a snow day.
Oh, bummer. But we're glad you're here because now you get to read to us.
Yes.
Yay. All right, so what book are you going to read to us, Miss Truckee?
All right. We are going to read There's a Wocket in My Pocket.
Ooh, and we heard this one actually yesterday too, so we're going to be experts on it because someone decided to bring a different book than planned. So, yeah.
Would you like me to read Horton instead? I have him in my room.
Yeah, I would love. We'd love to hear.
Okay.
Okay. All right. See, she's got the books right there. She's so cool. Isn't that awesome?
You just need to walk.
Yeah. Kind of like our little library we have in our room.
Yeah.
All
right. So we'll read Horton Hears a Who instead. All right. On the 15th day of May, in the jungle of Newell, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, he was splashing, enjoying the jungle's great joys, when Horton the elephant heard a small noise. Can you see the pictures?
Uh-huh. Perfect.
Okay. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked toward the sound. That's funny, thought Horton. There's no one around. Then he heard it again, just a very faint yelp, as if some tiny person were calling for help. I'll help you, said Horton, But who are you? Where? He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there but a small speck of dust blowing past through the air. I say, murmured Horton, I'll never heard tell of a small speck of dust that is able to yell. So you know what I think? Why, I think there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust, some sort of a creature of very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes. Some poor little person who's shaking with fear that he'll blow in the pool. He has no way to steer. I'll just have to save him because, after all, a person's a person, no matter how small. So gently and using the greatest of care, the elephant stretched his great trunk through the air, and he lifted the dust speck and carried it over and placed it down safe on a very soft clover. Humph, humphed a voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, humph, too. Why, that speck is so small as the head of a pin. A person on that? Why, there never has been.
Well, there's a person on that flower. Crazy.
Oh, I remember the movie.
Yeah, the movie is a great movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if it's still like the movie.
Believe me, said Horton, I tell you sincerely, my ears are quite keen, and I heard him quite clearly. I know there's a person down there, and what's more, quite likely there's 2, even 3, even 4. Quite likely a family for all that we know, a family with children just starting to grow. So please, Horton said, as a favor to me, try not to disturb them, just please let them be. I think you're a fool, laughed the sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, me too. You're the biggest plain fool in the jungle of Newell, and the kangaroos plunged into the cool of the pool. What terrible splashing, the elephant frowned. I can't let my very small persons get drowned. I've got to protect them. I'm bigger than they. So he plucked up the clover and hustled away.
Oh, he's being what? What is Horton doing?
She's being kind.
He's being very kind, isn't he?
Careful.
And careful, that's right.
Yes. Through the high jungle treetops, the news quickly spread. He talks to a dust speck. He's out of his head. Just look at him walk with that speck on that flower. And Horton walked, worrying, almost an hour. Should I put the speck down? Horton thought with alarm. If I do, these small persons may come to great harm. I can't put it down, and I won't. After all, a person's a person, no matter how small.
Let's all say that. A person's a person, no matter how small. Good job.
Then Horton stopped walking. The speck voice was talking. The voice was so faint he could just barely hear it. Speak up, please, said Horton. He put his ear near it. My friend, came the voice, you're a very fine friend. You've helped all us folks on this dust speck to no end. You've saved all our houses, our ceilings and floors. You've saved all of our churches and grocery stores. You mean, Horton guessed, you have buildings there too? Oh, yes, piped the voice. We most certainly do. I know, called the voice. I'm too small to be seen, but I'm the mayor of a town that is friendly and clean. Our buildings to you would seem terribly small, but to us who aren't big, they are wonderfully tall. My town is called Whoville, for I am a Who. and we whos are all thankful and grateful to you. And Horton called back to the mayor of the town, you're safe now, don't worry, I won't let you down.
Oh,
Aww, so kind.
so kind.
What I forgot that all the other people try to get him to hear them.
We'll have to see. Let's watch.
But just as he spoke to the mayor of the speck, 3 big jungle monkeys climbed up Horton's neck. The Wickersham brothers came shouting, what rot! This elephant's talking to whos who are not. There aren't any whos, and they don't have a mayor. And we're going to stop all this nonsense. So there.
Oh no. Do you guys have any guesses? Do you think they're gonna get the flower? Do you think they're gonna get it, Emma?
No.
Why not?
Because Horton might keep running.
Ooh. Any other guesses, guys? You think what's gonna happen? Donovan, what do you think's gonna happen?
He's gonna get mad and throw them off of his trunk.
Ooh, we'll have to see. Let's watch and see.
All right. They snatched Horton's clover. They carried it off to a black-bottomed eagle named Vladikoff, a mighty strong eagle of very swift wing. And they said, will you kindly get rid of this thing? And before the poor elephant could speak, that eagle flew off with the flower in his beak.
Oh no.
And I think we're gonna lock him up in a cage.
We're gonna see what's gonna happen. Poor Horton.
It must be so sad.
Oh, let's see what's gonna happen.
All that late afternoon and far into the night, that black-bottomed bird flapped his wings in fast flight, while Horton chased after with groans over stones that tattered his toenails and battered his bones, and begged, please don't harm all my little folks, who have as much as a right to live as us bigger folks do. But far, far beyond him, that eagle kept flapping, and over his shoulder called back, quit your yapping. I'll fly the night through. I'm a bird. I don't mind it. And I'll hide this tomorrow where you'll never find it. And at 6:56 the next morning, he did it. It sure was a terrible place that he hid it. He left that small clover drop somewhere inside of a great patch of clovers 100 miles wide. Find that, sneered the bird, but I think he will fail. And he left with a flip of his black-bottomed tail. I'll find it, cried Horton. I'll find it or bust. I shall find my friend on my small speck of dust. And clover by clover with care, he picked up and searched them and called, are you there? But clover by clover, he found that the one that he sought for was just not around. And by noon, poor old Horton, more dead than alive, had picked, searched, and piled up 9,005.
So guys, how would you describe Horton right now as a character? What do you think he is? How would you describe him? Sarah?
He's like sad.
He's sad, but is he giving up?
No.
So what would we describe him as if he doesn't give up? Zoe?
He's positive and persistent.
Yeah, he's positive and persistent. Anna, how else would you describe him?
I'm describing him very thoughtful.
Why is he thoughtful?
Because he is worrying about his friends.
He is worried about his friends.
Because he said that a person's a person no matter how small.
Exactly. So let's see if Horton's going to not give up.
Okay.
All right. Then on through the afternoon, hour after hour, till he found them at last on the 3,000,000th flower. My friends, cried the elephant, tell me, do tell. Are you safe? Are you sound? Are you whole? Are you well? From down on the speck came the voice of the mayor. We've really had trouble, much more than our share. When that black-bottomed birdie let go and we dropped, we landed so hard that our clocks have all stopped. Our teapots are broken, our rocking chairs smashed, and our bicycle tires all blew up when we crashed. So Horton, please, pleaded the voice of the mayor's, will you stick by us Who's while we're making repairs? Of course, Horton answered. Of course I will stick. I will stick by you small folks through thin and through thick.
Aww.
Aww.
Humph, humphed a voice. For almost 2 days, you've run wild and insistent on chatting with persons who's never existed. Such carryings on in our peaceable jungle, we've had quite enough of your bellowing bungle. And I'm here to state, snapped the big kangaroo, that your silly nonsensical game is all through. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, me too.
Isabel, just sit down right there.
With the help of the Wickersham brothers and dozens of Wickersham uncles and Wickersham cousins and Wickersham in-laws, whose help I've engaged, you're going to be roped and you're going to be caged. And as for your dust speck, that we shall boil in a hot steaming kettle of bezel nut oil. Boil it? Gasped Horton. Oh, you can't do that. It's all full of persons. They'll prove it to you.
Oh no.
Mr. Mayor, Horton called. Mr. Mayor, you've got to prove now that you really are there. So call a big meeting, get everyone out. Make every who holler, make every who shout. Make every who scream. If you don't, every who is going to end up in a bezel nut stew. And down on the dust speck, the scared little mayor quick called a big meeting in Whoville Town Square. And his people cried loudly. They cried out in fear, we are here, we are here, we are here, we are here. The elephant smiled. That was clear as a bell. You kangaroo surely heard that very well. All I heard, snapped the big kangaroo, was the breeze and the faint sound of wind through the far distant trees. I heard no small voices, and you didn't either. And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, me neither.
Quiet down now.
Grab him, they shouted, and cage the big dope. Lasso his stomach with 10 miles of rope. Tie the knots tight so he'll never shake loose. Then dunk that dumb speck in the bezel nut juice. Horton fought back with great vigor and vim, but the Wickersham gang was too many for him. They beat him, they mauled him, they started to haul him into his cage, but he managed to call to the mayor, don't give up, I believe in you all. A person, no matter how small. And all you small persons will not have to die if you make yourselves heard. So come on now and try.
So how do you think Horton's feeling on this page? How do you think he's feeling? Emma, how do you think he's feeling?
Sad.
Why is he sad?
Because they keep on getting rid of him.
Yeah. Any other reasons why he might be sad? Hunter, why do you think he's sad?
It's because he said he wouldn't let them down.
Yeah. And is he kind of letting them down right now? Oh, let's see what's going to happen. Let's watch and see.
The mayor grabbed a tom-tom. He started to smack it. And all over Whoville, they whooped up a racket. They rattled tin kettles. They beat on brass pans, on garbage pail tops, and old cranberry cans. They blew on bazookas and blasted great toots, on clarinets and flutes. Great gusts of loud racket rang high through the air. They rattled and shook the whole sky. And the mayor called up through the howling mad hubbubaloo, "Hey, Horton, how's this? Is our sound coming through?" And Horton called back, "I can hear you just fine, but the kangaroo's ears aren't as strong quite as mine. They don't hear a thing. Are you sure all your boys are doing their best? Are they all making noise? And are you sure every who down in Whoville is working? Quick, look through your town. Is there anyone shirking?" Through the town rushed the mayor from east to the west, but everyone seemed to be doing his best. Everyone seemed to be yapping or yipping. Everyone seemed to be beeping or bipping. But it wasn't enough, all this ruckus and roar. He had to find someone to help him make more. He raced through each building. He searched floor to floor. And just as he felt he was getting nowhere and almost about to give up in despair, he suddenly burst through a door, and that mayor discovered one shirker quite hidden away in the Fairfax apartments, apartment 12J. A very small shirker named Jojo was standing, just standing and bouncing a yo-yo, not making a sound, not a yip, not a chirp. And the mayor rushed inside, and he grabbed the young twerp.
Uh-oh.
And he climbed with the lad up the Eiffelberg Tower. "This," cried the mayor, "is your town's darkest hour. The time for all who have blood that is red, to come to the aid of their country," he said. "We've got to make noises in greater amounts, so open your mouth, lad, every voice counts." Thus he spoke as he climbed. When they got to the top, the lad cleared his throat, and he shouted out, "Yeah!" And that yop, that one small extra yop, put it over. Finally, at last, from that speck on the clover, their voices were heard. They rang out clear and clean, and the elephant smiled. "Do you see what I mean? They've proved they are persons, no matter how small, and their whole world was saved by the smallest of all." "How true! Yes, how true!" said the big kangaroo. "And from now on, you know what I'm planning to do? From now on, I'm going to protect them with you." And the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Me too. From sun in the summer, from rain when it's fallish, I'm going to protect them no matter how smallish."
Yay!
Oh, that was so sweet.
Oh, that was good. Let's give her a clap. Yay! Oh, was that a good story, friends? That was a great story. All right, we're going to try to take a picture with Miss Truckee while she's on the screen. So I'm going to have you guys stand up and go close to the smart board. Don't touch the smart board, otherwise it'll go away. Okay? And we're going to take a quick picture with her so we can show all of our AV Keto friends all the awesome stuff that we did. Oh, don't push. Okay, we're going to need to squish in a little bit. Princess, go move over a little bit. All right, let me see if I can get everybody. Okay, look at me. No peace signs. Look at me. Make sure you can see me. All right, ready? Big smiles. Look at me. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Isabel, control your body. Beautiful. All right, we got one. I will send that to you, Miss Truckee.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, we are going to go finish up our day, but you have a fabulous day, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.